You're 10 years old, it's 2009, and the most important thing about you coming home from school is logging on to play Club Penguin, Moshi Monsters, or one of the other virtual worlds to just connect with friends and have fun. No influencers, no TikTok shop, just Puffles. A fully dedicated space for you to just be safe online and have fun. Fast forward to 2024 and almost all of these virtual worlds have either shut down, moved to an app, or people just aren't playing them anymore. And yes, there's Roblox and Minecraft, and I'll touch on those later in the video, but nothing will compare to the glory days of 300 million accounts on Club Penguin. I'm sure we've all seen the Sephora kid discourse online with kids storming the stores, making drunk elephant smoothies, or posting get ready with me's on TikTok about their love life. In this video, I will cover the downfall of the online virtual world, third spaces, and the rise in criticism involving Gen Alpha and their obsession with skincare, makeup, and TikTok. The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, and tyrannise their teachers. Teachers are not doing that bad a job, nor are they doing that different a job than they did 10 or 20 years ago. Something is different. The kids appear to be different. Trends in behaviour in this latest generation seem to have shown a decrease in attention span and an evident disinterest in activities, along with restlessness and worse manners. Only one of these headlines is actually about Gen Alpha. The first quote was from Socrates, 469 to 399 BC. The second was an article by Don Oldenburg, October 12th, 1992, and the third was by Conrad Tan in an article about Gen Alpha in August 2023. So, what is new? Why are people saying that Gen Alpha are suddenly worse than all the other generations when that is what generation after generation after generation has said about the generation below them? How many times am I going to say generation? So first, I'm going to dive into what actually is a virtual world. And if you're not interested in really learning about virtual worlds, I do have wee time skippy things, so you can just skip to like if you want to hear about Sephora. Also, do you like my Club Penguin earrings? I literally made them for this video. Can you tell I'm a Club Penguin kid? An online virtual world is a space online where users can sign up, create a personal avatar, explore the world, and communicate with others. Then you have MMOs, massive multiplayer online games where people can join and chat with others and just game together. There's actually still a lot of MMOs around today, such as the Elder Scrolls Online and RuneScape, including the old RuneScape and the new RuneScape. I was definitely one of those kids who was a part of the virtual world craze. I mean, look at my earrings. I was obsessed. I was on Club Penguin, I was on Moshi Monsters, I was even on Ben Weevils because everyone was on Ben Weevils. I mean, the rush that I had when I met Rockhopper. I mean, absolutely electric. The passion. There was actually a time when I was like 10 or 11 when I won this radio competition to go to the opening of the new Disney store in Belfast, and I got to take a couple of my friends and we all got like a free goodie bag and we got to pick out like a costume, like a wee outfit, like a princess outfit, and they were like to me, oh, what outfit would you like, young 10-year-old Chloe? And I was like, I'm not really that into princesses, like I don't really want one, just double it, give it to the next person, like, do you know what I mean? And they were like, no, but you were the one who won the competition, so you sort of have to get something. And I was like, no, triple it, pass it on. And then I was like, actually, can I get something related to like Club Penguin instead? And they were like, yeah, what do you want? And I was like, well, do you have any like hoodies or t-shirts? And they were like, we have this pink Club Penguin hoodie. And I said, I will put that on right now. Iconic. Beginning of MMOs and virtual worlds. You might think that the beginning of these games came with the likes of Habbo Hotel or Neopets, but really it dates back to the 1970s. Some of the first included Empire, 1973, which was written for the Plato system. The Plato system was one of the first computer systems created in the 1960s, but was only available in the University of Illinois, which is a bit niche. Empire was one of the first multiplayer action games in which the object of the game was to conquer the galaxy. Up to 30 players could actually be in the game at one time, which is kind of crazy thinking about that happening in 1970. Another famous contributor to the MMO and virtual online space are MUDs, or MUDs. MUDs stand for Multi-User Dungeons, and was created by Roy Trubshaw and Richard Bartle at the University of Essex in 1978. The game was fully text-based, and to play it you had to enter commands such as open door or get keys. I mean, it was role-playing essentially. The game was described as being very open, and a major part of the game was chatting to other players. Like the Play-Doh games, it was originally only accessible to students at the university. However, in 1983, Essex University allowed people with home computers to connect to their network at night, spreading the game to a much wider audience. Focus on social elements. The game Habitat, released by LucasArts in 1986, was the start of a major shift in games focusing on social elements rather than defeating monsters or the galaxy. It had multiple rooms that you could just chat with friends or socialise in. Users were also responsible for their own behaviour in the game, with players being able to barter for resources, and they could even be robbed. Or you could rob somebody, technically. One of the creators, F. Randall Farmer, explained that one of the players was actually just elected to be sheriff, but the devs couldn't actually decide on what powers to give him. And this wasn't the only real world aspect that turned up in-game, as one user spent 20 to 40 hours a week creating the in-game newspaper called the Weekly Rant. It had the latest game news, updates, articles, and even fictional rumours about the game. Emulating the real world is a topic that I want to come back to a lot in this video, so be prepared. In my opinion, things like creating a newspaper or trading with others, it's like a little mini community or a massive community that, you can log on to from your own home and feel like you're part of something. Unfortunately, Habitat was closed down in 1988 due to it being too costly to run. However, there is actually a version of it available on GitHub if you want to go download it and give it a wee play. Other honourable mentions include Neverwinter Nights 1991, which is set in D&D's world of Faerun, which ran until 1997 and had over 115,000 players. Ultima Online 1997 reached 100,000 players within its first 6 months, costing around $10 per month to play. In 2001, around 20 to 30% of Ultima Online's player base were women. This article by Emily Faber really touches upon the community aspect, explaining that a 13-year-old was able to get help with her homework from other players, and some players even coined themselves the fashion police, taunting other players who were badly dressed. I mean, I swear this happened in Club Penguin as well. Ultima Online in particular really seemed to have a massive impact with its online player base. Some women rehearsed and acted out plays in-game, even forming a wee theatre troupe. And one woman said that Ultima Online even gave her the confidence to leave her abusive relationship. Douglas Rushkoff, an author of books on internet culture, made the observation of, because women tend to be excluded from positions of power in real life, they are drawn to cyber communities where they can make an impact. Now don't forget, this article was from 2001. I find this so interesting because even in 2024, women, and specifically Gen Alpha, are really just trying to search for a community where they feel like they are part of something. I mean, isn't that what's happening with how they just want to be involved with Drunk Elephant skincare or makeup or get ready with me's? These kids see something on TikTok like Alex Earl using Drunk Elephant and they go, oh, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of what everybody else is using, but they have to spend £30 on a moisturiser. I mean, just look at like in my Bow era, in my clean girl era, dark academia era, there's all these eras that people are just trying to search for something that they feel like they can see themselves represented in. Back in the day, video games were not free to play either. You had to pay per hour. As industry specialist Jessica Mulligan explains, during 1991, our average MMO customer spent around $156 per month. The top 0.5% had truly astronomical bills, with some being over $1,000 a month. So people have been spending money on hobbies that make them feel safe, happy, just relaxed in their spare time since the beginning of the digital age. And hobbies that aren't digital before the digital age. I'm going to fast forward a wee bit now, I hope that's okay, to 1999 and beyond, with the creation of Neopets. Created by Adam Powell and Donna Williams, now Donna Powell. Neopets launched in November 1999. I was 3 months old. Neopets was originally designed just to keep university students entertained. However, by Christmas, the site was hitting over 600,000 visitors. I mean, I really want to do a video on Neopets because see the amount of drama surrounding Neopets. I mean, even like all the Discord drama. Anyway, that's for another time. In an article in 2004, Neopets ranked as the #1 website for average time spent online, with 4 hours 47 minutes. The fact that that is actually lower than my daily screen time concerning. In the article, Neopets is described as being aimed at users from 8 to 17, where they can log on, play games, have fun, and be hounded by advertising. Wait, what? Immersive advertising. In an article by David Kushner, 20 million kids can't get enough, and neither can advertisers. How a virtual animal kingdom became a product placement paradise. Tyler likes to play McDonald's meal hunt, in which he searches for lost McNuggets. Yana Gagan, his mum, says they've been taking more trips to the real world McDonald's than ever before. Why do I sound like a news presenter? This, of course, came with a lot of backlash. The Watchdog magazine Adbusters said they're encouraging kids to spend hours in front of the screen and at the same time recruiting them into consumer culture. It's the most insidious mind ever. It's sneaky, says Clancy Mendoza, mother of Neopets fan Wendy, who forbids her daughter to take the surveys. After Wendy tried a Neopets game with a tie-in to Avril Lavigne's new CD, she told her mum that she wanted the music. I mean, fair play. Susan Lynn, author of Consuming Kids, says it's unfair that children don't even know that they're being advertised to. What I find also concerning in 2024 is how many marketing companies are pumping out these articles on how to market towards Gen Alpha, what they need to be doing to connect with Gen Alpha. Why do you want to market towards kids? Why do kids need to be marketed to? They're kids. It's a child. The child doesn't have money. Yes, you're going after the parents' money. Okay, but why are you telling kids that they need these 700 million things? Because I'm pretty sure that your makeup business or your skincare business or whatever business you have will survive without a 10-year-old buying it. We shouldn't be actively encouraging advertising to children. I mean, 10 to 15 years ago, people were outraged that you could buy a lightsaber in Club Penguin because it was promoting Star Wars. But now there's guides on how you can attract Gen Alpha's pocket money. I don't think it's ever too early, right? I mean, brands need to really understand who the up-and-coming consumers are so that they can get ready to welcome them into their new space. Right, because even if you're not selling directly to kids, like just to kids, they're already starting to influence household purchases. Well, I don't think that's new. I mean, it's too bad they didn't have it for us, but it's definitely not new. I mean, just think about all those images you see of parents with a kid or guardians and someone with a kid at a grocery store and they're like, oh, can we have this cereal? Can we have these chips? But the problem is, it's not just cereal and it's not just crisps anymore. It's £50 makeup products, it's £25 foundations, all these clothing items. It's not just cereal. With the rise of influencers, makeup, skincare and fashion products are at the forefront of what these kids are seeing. And if an influencer receives 25 PR packages, they're not going to know that A, they got them for free, or B, even if they didn't get them for free, they're being paid to promote it. C, even if they're not being paid to promote it, they have the money from sponsorships and the amount of followers they have to buy these products. Kids won't know that. They will just see what their favourite influencer has and go, oh, I want it. In a report by Niamh Fear-Smith for The Digital Age, she finds that 55% of kids want to buy something if their favourite YouTuber or Instagram star is using it, wearing it, or consuming it. Kids are sponges, and it has changed from seeing a simple Frosties commercial to seeing a Get Ready With Me. A Frosties commercial, you watch it and you know that you're being advertised to. If you're watching a Get Ready With Me with a subtle ad in like, oh, this is the new primer I'm using, kids won't necessarily pick up on the fact that that's an ad. And I'm not saying all kids are stupid, okay? But I'm just saying the majority of kids will just see that and go, oh, I want it. Which is especially a problem if the parents don't have the money for it. Neopets was certainly not the last to introduce immersive advertising, with the likes of Habbo Hotel, Stardoll, Club Penguin, Yville, among many others. I suppose with kids spending more time in front of computers than TVs, marketers were scrambling with ways to still get their kids to buy stuff. I also just want to quickly highlight some articles about advertising on TV to kids from 2001, stating that in 1996 it was found that TV commercials were a topic of conversation amongst school kids. If a friend tells me to buy something that they have seen on TV or in a commercial, is the source of the influence my friend or the commercial? And that has rapidly grown to, oh, have you seen that Cocoa Pops commercial where the Cocoa Pops monkey speaks to a giraffe? Or are you going to go on the Club Penguin Star Wars party this weekend? To, did you see XYZ's Get Ready With Me with 1 million likes? I really want to touch on that quote about if a friend tells you something they've seen on a commercial, who is the influence? And I think this is so prevalent in especially schools today, because who doesn't have TikTok on their phone? Most parents provide their kids with a phone, whether it be for their safety or because everybody else has a phone. If kids want to browse TikTok, then parents should be able to maybe create who they follow, but again, it's a minefield, because if you just give the phone back, they're just going to go and unfollow or follow whoever they want anyway. But I find this quote so interesting because I saw this video about this woman who gave her daughter like a knockoff, like dupe of a Stanley Cup, and people in her class made fun of her because it wasn't a real Stanley Cup. And I'm like, okay guys, this is going too far. Like, why are we making fun of each other? But then the influence might have started with one kid in the class where they saw a video of Stanley Cups, and then they go in with a Stanley Cup, and then other kids see the Stanley Cup and go, I want that, and it spreads like a virus, like a zombie apocalypse. I've been watching The Walking Dead recently. It spreads quickly and rapidly, and then it won't be contained to just that one class. It'll spread against the whole school, and then it'll spread to their friends outside of school. And then how do you contain it? Now, before I get to the big bad boys of the virtual world craze, I just wanted to give a wee shout out to some of these amazing virtual worlds. Panfu, Poptropica, Build-A-Bearville, love this one. Binweevils, Webkins, IMVU, Movie Star Planet, Toontown, also love that one. Nicktropolis, Animal Jam, Pixie Hollow Online, Cars Online, Barbie Girls, Littlest Pet Shop Online. Okay, we get it, there was a lot of onlines. Meaning, there was a lot of things for kids to do online, which there isn't now. Club Penguin. If you couldn't tell, my personal favourite. Club Penguin ran from 2005 to 2017. RIP. By 2007, Club Penguin had already reached 3.9 million accounts. Players were gripped with the cute designs of the penguins, the mini games, and in 2006 they introduced the Puffle, which was so popular because who didn't love taking care of a virtual pet? Club Penguin was sold to Disney in 2007 for $350 million, which is a lot of money. And it was not Disney's only virtual world at the time. Oh no, because they had Toontown, Pirates of the Caribbean Online, Pixie Hollow Online, and World of Cars. So Club Penguin was just another one in the can for them. Designed for kids between 6 and 14, Club Penguin had a specific focus on making sure that kids were safe online. Like other virtual worlds, Club Penguin censored swearing and any inappropriate behaviour. But they actually took it one step further. Words such as address, school and phone number are not allowed. It is a truly anonymised environment. There is simply no opportunity for personal identified information. Now, this was not enough for many parents, as by the time Club Penguin was gaining popularity, criticism of kids spending their time online was also on the rise. In an article by Susanna Rustin in 2010, co-founder Liam Merrifield explains how I recoil a little bit when people call it social networking for kids, because you can't share any information, no one knows what you look like or where you live. Which is an interesting note, okay? Because how many kids are making get ready with me's on TikTok in their school uniforms? Kids need to have internet safety classes again, and I don't think that is happening enough right now, because teachers and, well, schools are underfunded. Okay, number one, they don't have money to do anything. So internet safety, when the internet has been around for so many years, is not a priority. It's not a priority. People aren't talking about it as much. So why would they waste their money on a class when they don't even have money for books? But I remember internet safety classes do not even share your real name online. My penguin name was Bearme29. It didn't even have my name in it. I just want to point out that my boyfriend thought I said bury me and not bury me like the Build-A-Bear bear. Anyway. Another critique that Rustin points out, in order to decorate your igloo or buy items, you need to earn the coins. You're not just given the coins. Although Merrifield has a great response to that. I'm sure some kids would love it if everything was one coin, but it wouldn't really benefit them in terms of what the real world is like. You have to save up for quite some time for a down payment, a mortgage and all that. This article also had 2 comments which I just found quite amusing, in that they hate chat rooms and they hate the fact that their child is learning to socialise in such a way. I mean, I played Club Penguin for years, every day, and I never had a creepy experience. Now, I don't know if that's just because I was sheltered and only played Puffle Roundup and Card Jitsu, but genuinely the only thing I encountered was maybe people being pookies. But that, like, as a kid, you roleplay. I'll get into that. Now, I'm not saying that those things didn't happen, but on the whole, it was a safe way for kids to interact. If a player was to use a curse word, they'd be banned for 24 hours, and then any repeat offences, 3 bans, you're banned for life. However, if a child on TikTok uses a swear word, it physically cannot be moderated, because TikTok is not a dedicated space for kids. And I'm not blaming TikTok. I love TikTok. I don't think TikTok should be banned. Stop the ban. One article by Will Coldwell criticises the join-in criteria. Very little personal information is actually required to join the site. I mean, all you need is an email address. So while this offers protection from fraud, it also raises the question asked by so many. What if an adult is using the site? And I know I just talked about how good it is for kids and tweens to have their own space. But if an adult is playing Club Penguin, if everything is banned anyway, like you can't share addresses, you can't share whatever, I don't think that's that bad. Like, it's not like a kid is sharing the space on YouTube, which is essentially, they can search for anything on YouTube. It's the adult will still have to conform to the restrictions on the kid's site. One of the most interesting articles I found on Club Penguin was this article here from 2007, titled Babes in the Woods by Caitlin Flanagan. Now, Flanagan discusses how her 8-year-old twin sons discovered Club Penguin and she sat down to play it with them. Okay, like a good, responsible parent. That's good parenting, I have to say, Caitlin. And she felt like she was summoning Beelzebub, which I didn't even know what it was. I had to look it up, but apparently it's this, like a demon thing. It's a demon? Is it a demon? It's a demon. She then goes on to say, the boys loved it. Everyone loved it. Club Penguin was the most happening event of the 2nd grade. To be denied it was not only to be denied a pleasure, but an essential mode of schoolyard discussion and inclusion. A way of being a 2nd grader. But I never let them play it again because something scared me. The penguins could chat with each other. Caitlin, are you aware that your kids chat to each other in school? Are you aware that your kids could talk to someone if they walk down the street? In the playground? If someone says a swear word in the playground, it's not censored. It just comes out of their mouth. If someone says a swear word on Club Penguin, they're banned. I've never understood parenting like this. Why are you banning something? It's just going to make your kids learn how to use a VPN or go on some dodgy website to get around it. Like, she just said they had a fun time playing. What's the problem? Now, if she had genuine concerns and she was really scared that her kids were going to talk to a creepy adult guy, then why doesn't she allocate like 30 minutes to sit down and play with them? And I do want to touch on how not all parents have time to sit and monitor their kids, but from the sounds of this article, she did sit down and play it with them, so maybe she does have the time, maybe even once or twice a week. Why doesn't she do that? Now, she does acknowledge moderators in this, but she questions it. It's certainly the safest way for unsupervised children to talk to potentially malevolent strangers. But why would you want to do that in the first place? Because it's fun, Caitlin. Because your children are learning to communicate. They're learning to socialise in a safe environment where they're a penguin. Now, it does get worse, because she says she goes on to make her own penguin. Now, Caitlin, that's fine. Do you want to decorate your igloo? Do you want to play with your puffles? No. She made a pink penguin named Tootsabella 2 in order to purposefully talk to children. Is she not doing exactly what she was afraid of happening to her sons? Now, she claims at first that nobody wanted to talk to her, and she uses the absolute worst metaphor of all time. She stated how it felt like she was a wallflower at an orgy. Caitlin, why would you even say that? Side note, she mentions how boys and girls have very different attitudes of what they like to do in the game. The girls want to hang out, chat and send little hearts to people, and the boys want to play video games. I want to play video games, but I also want to send a little heart maybe. So what does that make me? It's this dynamic that makes social networking sites so much more dangerous for girls than boys. It's in girls' nature to form relationships, to trade intimacies, to console and confide. Now look, I would understand this point if she was talking about the social aspects of how society expects young girls to operate, or how society expects them to just be more mature than their counterparts, and how social media has exacerbated that. But no, she's not talking about that. She just thinks that it's more dangerous because all boys are focused on are video games. Now Flanagan continues to say, did I see anything dangerous happen? I did not. But I saw any number of flame wars and more unsettling, even more cases of penguins deep in happy conversation who suddenly vanished from the scene, perhaps off to a private chat in an out-of-the-way igloo, safe from the prying eyes of secret agents. So not only did you not see anything dangerous happen, Caitlin, you saw presumably kids having fun. And they vanished from the scene. Perhaps they went to go play card jitsu. Caitlin, did you follow them? Were you being a wee stalker? No, you don't know. And just because it's a private igloo does not mean that a moderator can't see what they're saying. Also, touching on role playing here, because if you don't know what a pookie is, basically in Club Penguin, a pookie was someone who would maybe wear like a yellow colour on their penguin, and they would go to the pet shop and dress up in like kid like baby like clothes, and they would pretend to be a baby, and then a mum would come and like adopt them and take them back to their igloo. Now this is role playing. What is different about that to kids playing mummy and daddy with dolls? What is the difference? They're playing a baby and someone's playing the mum. That's like someone doing it with a doll. Kids in real life would use their Barbies or dolls to kiss each other. I mean, when I was younger, I wasn't a big doll person, but I had a couple of Barbies and I would stick them on, you know, those cars that you like wind up and then they go. I would stick the Barbie on it, wind it up and crash it into a wall. Is that worse than talking on Club Penguin, Caitlin? Role playing is still a key element even in kids today. I mean, even on TikTok, I've seen kids post videos of them role playing owning a nail salon, a hairdressing salon, or even I've seen kids with like a wee book and they're marking off like day in the life of a school teacher and they're playing a school teacher. Kids are just emulating what they see in their daily lives. It's nothing new and it's not dangerous. Even I saw this tweet that went viral yesterday. I was in the middle of writing this video and I saw the tweet and I said I have to film it today because of this tweet. Now, it was this girl using the same makeup that I use, okay? She's like 10 and she's talking about her love life doing a get ready with me. Now, there are many issues with this, but the thing that I want to make clear is that the wee kid is just emulating what she sees every day, whether that's in society in real life or whether that's in society online. She's doing a get ready with. I used to watch Get Ready With Me's. We used to have Zoella, Sprinkle of Glitter, all these iconic YouTubers who would post a get ready with me every week, a morning routine every week. Now, the frequency was, it was maybe once a week or maybe get a morning routine once a month or once every few months. So when kids are seeing their favourite influencers and online personalities posting maybe a get ready with me every day, I mean, some people post on TikTok 3 times a day. When I was going on YouTube, I'd have to go and sit at the family computer to go on YouTube, whereas now it's in their hand. They can watch TikTok, they can watch as many get ready with me's as you want to watch. One user on NetMums expressed how sad Club Penguin was. The majority of her time seems to be entering Pookie contests. One penguin plays mum and the winner is adopted as Penguin Mum's baby. It's just really, really sad. I miss the days of dolls and tea sets. What does she think kids do with dolls and tea sets? Sit and recite Shakespeare? I'll leave this article behind now, but I do just want to quickly mention how unhinged Caitlin was here, as she says that she went on MySpace, searched up a high school near her, found a random girl who went to the high school, went through all her photos, saw she was graduating soon, went onto the school's website, found a date and time for the graduation rehearsal, turned up and listened to some of the rehearsal before leaving, and she admits that she even keeps an eye on Jenna now and again. But Club Penguin's bad. No, ban Club Penguin, Caitlin. Now let's talk about memberships. Since you no longer paid for virtual worlds and MMOs per hour, companies had to find a way to make money. And if you didn't want to riddle your website with ads, create a membership system. Many of these were about £4 to £5 a month, with discounted rates, maybe paying about £40 for a year for one website. However, if you had multiple kids who all wanted a membership, that could quickly wrap up to a very costly rate. Memberships in virtual worlds would allow kids to decorate their house, decorate their avatar, and even enter exclusive rooms. In Club Penguin, you had to have a membership to buy any clothes at all, unless you got free items from a party or maybe a real life toy that you put in a code for. This YouTube video will always make me laugh.
Sophie's recalling the chilly days when her penguin was naked because she couldn't buy him clothes.
But on a serious note, if you could not afford a membership, kids did feel excluded in school. Club Penguin eventually shut down in 2017, much to the disappointment of the entire world, to launch the app Club Penguin Island. In an article with Variety, Kai Laughlin, VP of Apps and Games at Disney, says Club Penguin Island was designed for the next generation of players who have grown up on mobile devices. And kids were playing mobile games alright, with the likes of Subway Surfers, Fruit Ninja, Angry Birds, Flappy Bird. I mean, Pokemon Go, which came out in 2016, absolutely iconic. Who will ever be as happy as they were in that summer of 2016? I certainly won't. And since Pokemon Go came out just shy of a year before Club Penguin Island launched, the devs were probably trying to chase some of that success. But even the extremely popular Pokemon Go again faced criticism from parents, news outlets, and just anyone online. Even the police were warning parents about the dangers of Pokemon Go. It seems any time kids hop on a craze, there's hate and criticism, saying it's unsafe, unhealthy, ridiculous, stupid to spend your time on. Of course, some of these points are valid, like not revealing your entire address online or walking into traffic to get yourself knocked down because you're playing Pokemon Go, but really, how many times did that happen? It just sounds a bit like stirring the pot of mass hysteria to me. Nevertheless, Club Penguin Island was, surprise surprise, a massive flop and shut down on December 20th, 2018. I mean, I actually didn't even know they ported it to desktop in November 2017, probably trying to get some of their original audience back, but considering I didn't even know about it. A leaked letter from Disney HR explains, for several years now we've been experiencing increasing global competition. We've explored many options to improve efficiency and reduce costs. However, in order to reduce costs further and become more competitive, we find that we must reduce our workforce, aka sack them all. 2018 was also the year Fortnite had a global boom. I was in sixth form during this time, or if you aren't in the UK or Ireland, it's like the last year of high school, and everyone, myself included, we were all talking about how the meteor's gonna hit season 4. It was a good time. Kids were doing Fortnite dances everywhere they went, and the craze of virtual worlds was dying a death in order to make room for Fortnite, Roblox and Minecraft. Now, what do these have that virtual worlds don't? Fortnite and Roblox are free to play with a heap of microtransactions, with 1,000 V-Bucks costing around £7, and you'd be lucky to even get like one skin or like a character for 1,000 V-Bucks. So you're really looking at about £14 to £20 for 1 to 2 skins. The Insights Family 80 data suggests that children aged 8 to 17 who spent money in video games have spent an average of £38 in the last month. Definitely a lot more than about £4 to £6 for a membership. Fortnite also has a battle pass with 100 levels, and if you're a completionist or love collecting, I do like a battle pass, okay? I'll hold my hands up. I do like a battle pass. Although basically every free-to-play game has a battle pass now, so I suppose it could get a bit old, but Fortnites have always been pretty good with me. And it's a model that makes a lot of money, so I doubt we will see the departure of battle passes anytime soon. Fortnite is fun and I enjoy playing it, okay? I don't care if you think it's weird, okay? I enjoy playing it. Although as a woman, I don't go on voice chat. If I'm playing it, I'm effectively playing a single player game, even if I'm in squads, because I will not put voice chat on, because the few times that I have put voice chat on, it's just men going, oh my god, a woman! Oh my god, you're a woman! Oh my god, because you're a woman, you didn't hit that shot. We've all lost now, it's your fault because you're a woman. So playing Fortnite for me, I really miss those community aspects. And yeah, I can get them on Reddit and, you know, when there's a new season, but it's not as exciting as just having like a text chat. I also just want to quickly touch on the topic of cringe culture and kids viewing things as embarrassing or cringe. A few years ago, it was cool to floss or do the latest Fortnite dance, but now they'd be called cringe or laughed at. But where do these attitudes come from? I mean, there's always going to be kids who bully, right? But why do kids bully? What are they not getting at home or in their life that they feel like they have to bully? Like, I feel like this is like the Frankenstein's monster, like nature versus nurture sort of thing. Maybe this is a reach, but is it a coincidence that so many adults or older teenagers hated on Fortnite so excessively and spoke about this hate in person, in school, in high school, online, just made fun of it, and then that trickled down, even in voice chat on Fortnite, and then that trickles down into kids because they copy, they mimic, because they see things happen in society, and whether they want to copy it or whether they just copy the behaviours unconsciously, it happens. I just hate the word cringe in general. Like, I just don't understand why people can't just let people enjoy things. Just let them enjoy it. Like, I've been told to my face that what I do is cringe and how I make videos, they're not funny, they're cringe, and I'm like, I find them funny. So if I find them funny, someone probably with my personality is also going to find them funny. Now, is there going to be people who think that they're horrible videos, who think that they're not funny? Yes, but you can scroll past. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, now on to Moshi Monsters. Now, Moshi Monsters was launched in 2008 by Michael Acton Smith and company Mind Candy. Moshi Monsters was another cult classic, particularly massive in the UK, going on to launch a film, magazines, toys, you name it. It actually had the #1 best-selling magazine for kids in 2011. It's also a shame magazines aren't as popular as they used to be because I ate magazines up. Also, the Moshi Monsters magazine in particular really had a focus on submissions from kids. Like, kids would send in drawings, a fact about themselves or what they're enjoying about the game, and they would publish it in the magazine. Like, how exciting going to like Tesco or Asda or whatever and seeing your drawing in the magazine. The confidence that must give that kid. Like, they might go on to pursue art, study art in school, or it just bring back kids things, okay? Much like Club Penguin, users could customise their character, decorate their house, and play mini games to earn rocks. In 2012, the Daily Mail released an article titled "Warning Over Paedophiles Grooming Primary School Children" on Club Penguin and Moshi Monsters websites. Bedfordshire Police is sending officers into more than 300 schools to raise awareness about online imposters after parents highlighted possible grooming incidents. One worried parent who logged onto Moshi Monsters posing as her son said someone on the site had a sexually suggestive username, and a number of children were communicating with this person and he was discussing sex. Although she reported the incident immediately, it took 17 hours to delete the communication. Now, this obviously is a problem. You don't want your kids seeing stuff like that online in a space that is meant for them. Moshi Monsters had a forum aspect of the site where users could ask questions or discuss new topics of the game. There was also a pin board in everyone's house where you could put like a little sticky note message and it would stay up there unless it was deleted. On Mumsnet, this caused a lot of backlash, criticism and hate for the game, really. One user said her son alerted her to the fact that there was bad swearing going on in the forum. I couldn't believe a couple of the threads. The thread titles are obscene as well. There is a button for reporting bad behaviour, but all it seems to do is to report a member to get them banned, but their offensive content is still visible. The parent and consult team leader Mags from Mind Candy actually responded on Mumsnet, which I thought, okay, good for you, that's impressive, like going on Mumsnet and responding directly. Mags says there is no private message function and all messages are publicly visible. While some children's sites allow for private messaging between users, Moshi Monsters believes that there is no topic suitable for discussion within our site that cannot be discussed in the public view. Completely agree. I thought her response was really well written and agree with everything that she says. I think if you are allowing your child to have unfiltered access online, maybe you could do a quick 5-minute sweep and check what they're saying, and if there is something obscene you could quickly delete it. They don't have to see it, you report it, we move on. Again, it depends on parents' time. how many jobs are they working? Do they have the time to do that? Do they have the knowledge to do that? Because some kids are light years ahead of the parents in terms of just knowledge of technology. She goes on to say, not only is our forum moderated, but all messages within the site have the option to report directly to a moderator. This allows children and parents the ability to self-police the postings which they receive, as well as report inappropriate conduct on any other pin board they visit. Of course, kids shouldn't be witnessing explicit material and swearing, but parents on Mumsnet were not happy with Mag's response, saying it's not good enough and that they're banning their kid from using the site. One parent actually told their kid that the company had gone bust and the website closed down. But what is that kid gonna think when they go into school and hear that the other kids are still playing Moshi Monsters? Don't lie to your kid. This might not be a popular opinion, but instead of banning your kid if they see a swear word on a kid's website, teach your kid that some people do swear. It's not okay for you to swear, and if you see any words like that, then come to me and we can discuss it together, and we can talk about, you know, how to report it and consequences that that person will then face. But that's just me. Obviously this does not include kids who were actually being groomed online. Just saying. One user on NetMum said that her 9-year-old daughter was playing Moshi Monsters and told her that she had a boyfriend who asked, "Are you a girl? And if so, will you go out with me?" To which her 9-year-old replied, "Yes, I am a girl, and maybe to the going out." She goes on to say, "So far he has not asked for any details and I have warned her not to give anything." Now, of course, there is no way to know if this was an actual kid or if it was an adult, right? But I think what a lot of us forget, including the wee girl who made the video about her love life. Now, we were not calling it love life back in the day, okay? But when we were 9, 10, 11, we had crushes, okay? We had a playground crush. It's just a part of growing up. There is a fine line and you don't want it to get out of hand. But talk to your kids about crushes. Talk to your kids about, you know, what is okay and what isn't okay. Like, I'm of the opinion that we should teach kids the proper names for their own anatomy, because it's just like how that one wee girl went to her teacher and said that someone was touching her cookie and nobody knew what she was talking about, but it was her private areas. So it's important that kids know the language and know the vocabulary in order to protect them against groomers or anyone like that. Moshi Monster shut down at the end of 2019 with the death of Adobe Flash Player RIP, but throughout its run it had various changes, particularly to the forum aspect that so many people had a problem with. In 2012, all forum posts had to be manually approved, which I actually think is a really good change in order to prevent explicit content. However, the forums were closed completely in 2015. So, what are Gen Alpha playing in 2024? I briefly mentioned Roblox, Minecraft and Fortnite earlier, but I want to briefly touch on Roblox. Roblox was created in 2016. I don't know how I got it that wrong. Roblox was created and released in 2006 with development from 2004. So just ignore me, because how did I do that? But it got a massive boom in lockdown, and it currently has over 71 million daily users, which is nuts. Users can customise their avatar, chat with friends, and play a whole host of games or experiences, as Roblox calls them. It's basically a platform full of games made by the community for the community. A lot of kids enjoy it because of the social aspect, but because there's 40 million games, there's bound to be something that you enjoy there. Like, you could play a new one every day and not even scratch the surface. Like, imagine if kids had that many real life experiences or activities to do. The only thing is, there's 40 million games, right? Surely there's something for everyone. But what if the Roblox style, or I don't know, what if you just don't really like Roblox? You have Fortnite or Minecraft. There's not as many as there was in the 2010s at the boom of the virtual world. So yes, Roblox has a lot, but if that's not your thing, like if you didn't like Club Penguin, you had Moshi Monsters. If you didn't like Moshi Monsters, you had Bearville. If you didn't like Build-A-Bearville, you had Bin Weevils. Do you know what I mean? In a children's gaming study conducted in January of 2024 by the Children's Commissioner, one girl aged 10 said, "Young people spend too much time on social media, TikTok and video games. They're not active or social face to face, and there's nowhere for young people to go enjoy themselves and have fun in my area, which brings me to my next point of third spaces. The term third space was coined by Ray Oldenburg in his 1989 book, The Great Good Place, in which he stated that third places are locations that facilitate social interaction outside of the people you live with or work with and encourage public relaxation. The lack of third spaces really is a problem for everyone in society. I mean, even me, it's a problem for everybody. When I was a kid, I loved going to the local roller rink, which is closed down. I also loved going to my local library, which has cut its hours in half and is only really open for like 4 hours, 3 days of the week. I also love going to soft play areas. A lot of them are closed down. So where are the kids meant to go? Where can they go? I mean, if they're lucky, their school might offer extracurricular activities, but then the parents need to be able to afford to buy maybe the kit or the equipment needed or the supplies needed, or maybe if there's a trip, they need to pay for the trip. And then, how are you going to get home from the extracurricular activity? Because the school I went to, there was one bus that left at exactly the time that school ended, and if you missed that bus, you had to walk to the bus station, and say if your town doesn't have a bus station. So if you want to go to an after school club, you might have to get someone to pick you up. If your parents work, they might not be able to pick you up. Then you might have to pay for a taxi or an Uber, or do you know what I mean? If you don't have a bus station, how do you get home? There are so many issues with today's society and issues that have happened during the pandemic, which also, when people are saying Gen Alpha can't read, I'm like, they had to go to class online. I was at university during the time of online learning, and even I was struggling. So guys, can we actually give Gen Alpha a break if they can't read? What seismic shift in the universe has happened in the past few years that might have made kids fall behind in class? So yes, the kids are online because there's nowhere else for them to go. I'm sure maybe a couple of months ago you might have seen this tweet. It got 75 million views, and it's a guy posing outside this pub with a sign saying it's dog friendly but you can't bring your wee kid in. Oh my god, this tweet sparked so much controversy of people sprouting their hatred for children, sprouting how they don't want to hear or see kids anywhere, saying about how kids, they're not really important in society. And I'm like, okay, I understand you want to have your adult only time, okay? I'm not saying that kid-free spaces should not be a thing, right? There's a balance to life, okay? But when you are so aggressively hating on children, red flag. Also, I want to touch on people saying that parents are not raising their kids, iPads are raising their kids, okay? Because there's two sides to everything. Okay, and I know this might not appeal to everyone. Some people might be writing a comment saying that kids shouldn't be given an iPad at all. Okay, so of course there are some parents who don't care about their kids. I'm not saying there's not. I just want to talk about the specific percentage of parents who maybe give their kid an iPad because they're working 24/7, or they're working and they're a stay-at-home mom who maybe works from home. Maybe they're a single parent who needs to do all of the jobs, so it's easier to give your kid an iPad because you can't sit and entertain them 24/7. Is the parent disabled? Look at the economy, look at the state of the world. The UK is in a cost of living crisis. People can't afford to eat or do anything. Everything is going down the toilet. They might have mental health issues. You can't get mental health support in this country for love nor money. So yes, some parents are giving their kid an iPad while they cook dinner, while they do this, while they do whatever. So I feel like when everyone is jumping on the bandwagon saying that parents are doing such a bad job, parents aren't raising their kids, it's iPads raising the kids. Of course there are parents who don't raise their kids right, but that's not the kid's fault. That's not the kid's fault at all. I just feel like when people are making all these TikToks about how much they hate Gen Alpha, how horrible these kids are, how rude these kids are, I just feel like there needs to be nuance in the conversation, or like there needs to be two sides, or like at least a discussion or an argument here, because you can't just hate on kids. You can't just say they're all horrible, I hate them all, they're all horrible little monsters, they're evil, like this is what I'm saying on Twitter. But like, why? Do you know what I mean? These kids are obviously like this for a reason. There's obviously, the kids might have suffered severe mental health problems from the pandemic. Some kids don't do well in school. I didn't like school. School was not good for me. People say school and uni are the best years of your life. No. Best years of my life is when I left. The majority of Gen Alpha have not been able to develop their social skills, their critical thinking, any skill. Okay, name a skill. Probably haven't developed it because they lost years to the pandemic. Sephora kids. If you've been online, you know the Sephora kids. Due to the rise in kids entering Sephora, it has dominated the headlines over the past few months. And the majority of these kids are going crazy for a skincare brand called Drunk Elephant. Drunk Elephant was founded in 2013, but in the past year especially has gained millions of fans all over the world. The first I ever heard of Drunk Elephant was when I was scrolling on TikTok and a video of Alex Earl popped up using the Bronson drops. I had never heard of Alex Earl before this one video, and I'd never heard of Drunk Elephant before this video. Did I think they looked nice on the skin? Did I Google them after the video? Yeah. Did I close the tab immediately when I saw they were £35? Yeah. I mean, look at the bottle. It's tiny. Of course, there's like a million dupes now, but the problem is kids will see these influencers using the Drunk Elephant brand and want the Drunk Elephant brand. I touched on this earlier, but so many kids will make fun of other kids if they don't have the real thing, and this has only been exacerbated by social media. Social media has become such an echo chamber with influencers all promoting the same items time and time and time and time again. Like, if there's a campaign of a new mascara, the brand would maybe send out the mascara to like the same like 100+ influencers, whereas if there was one advert on YouTube or TV, it would be the one advert. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when I was 12 and 13, like I used to go to Superdrug after school and like look at all the makeup and everything, and of course I went out and bought the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer after I saw like Zoella and Sprinkle of Glitter using it. I would swatch all the highlighters with my friends after school, look at all the baby lips. What we were doing is nothing different to what the kids in Sephora are doing. They're maybe just leaving it in a bit of a mess. So, do you know what I mean? Also, influencers in like 2012, 2013, 2014, they were using a concealer that was like £4 or £5, a foundation that was like £8 max. Like, none of these products that they were using like every day for everyday makeup were that expensive. If kids wanted to experiment with makeup at 10, 11, 12, it wasn't going to break the bank as much as it was now. But young girls are wearing more makeup than they were 5 years ago. Makeup and marketing. Welcome to the world of 10-year-old girls. Almost 20 years old. The article discusses a survey conducted in the UK of almost 6,000 kids aged 7 to 19, in which it found that 63% of 7 to 10-year-olds wore lipstick, more than 2 in 5 eyeshadow or eyeliner, and almost 1 in 4 wore mascara. 3/4 of 11 to 14-year-old girls use eyeshadow and a similar proportion mascara. Lip gloss and lipstick is even more popular, with 8 in 10 girls aged 11 to 14 applying it. Half of the girls wear blusher, with 14% saying they use it every day or more. So why is everyone losing their minds about kids wearing makeup now? 20 years ago, the kids that were wearing makeup that were surveyed in this article, were they making Get Ready With Me's and posting it online? No. Did they even have a camera? Probably not. And if they did, it was just a digital one. It wasn't one that you could then just upload to YouTube. With phones nowadays, everybody has the ability to be a content creator or an influencer, or just to share parts of themselves online. So of course, we are going to be seeing more and more and more kids wearing makeup, doing Get Ready With Me's, because they have the ability to share that with the world. I also just want to point out that the majority of these kids that we're seeing, like Gen Alpha influencers or Sephora hauls or stuff like this, that these kids probably come from a middle class or upper class family in which they can afford to give their kids the latest makeup, the latest skincare, the all these latest things that the average household and the average parent and family cannot afford, especially today. So when we are seeing all of these videos, it's an echo chamber of people in the same class. So I also think that's important to take into account when watching these videos. And also, there's so many American ones that I keep seeing, and the size of their houses, the size of everything is crazy. And then people look at that and go, well, that must be every single 10-year-old girl in America. But it's not. Long before girls became teenagers, they used a wide selection of cosmetics, as well as other skincare products and toiletries. Their interest in these products is fueled by teen magazines and by swapping ideas and recommendations with their peer group, and of course, watching what their mothers use. Also, hit the nail on the head with what is happening today. The only difference is that they're not getting the majority of their makeup recommendations from magazines, it's TikTok. But these kids are still getting a lot of influence from their parents, from what their mum might use. Like, just look at this, like a mummy and me cup, or mother and daughter, like, cute outfit. Like, I see so many, like, mommy influencers post, like, matching outfits, or, like, you know, oh, what I do in a day with my daughter. I mean, just look at family channels, for example. I'm not a big family channel fan. I think there's a lot of problematic issues with family channels. Like, this is unrelated to like the skincare stuff, but there's this wee girl I saw on Instagram, and she has over 1 million followers, and it does say parent ran account, but I don't think the account should exist at all. And it's this wee kid with orphan who is like sharing her experience, like trying to recover. Like, that's such a personal thing. Like, I've experienced like EDs in the past, and I just don't think that sharing your kids' recovery from ED so publicly, I don't like that. I think that is just not acceptable. That article, I just want to point out, is not an isolated article. This one from 2010 is titled Makeup for Tweens and Teens, What's Appropriate? And this one from 2016, Beauty is Child's Play. 80% of US tweens use beauty and personal care products. In an article for Glamour looking specifically at the drunk elephant craze, media psychologist Dr. Grant explains children go through developmental stages. By age 13, they start to experience the parasocial effect, wherein they stop looking to their parents and teachers for guidance and start looking to their peers. It used to be your peers or your friend group, he says, but I now call it the parasocial media effect. Kids are looking at influencers and their followers as their peers, which is so true. Because of the lack of space for kids and tweens to go, whether that's online or in person, means they will go to TikTok and be funneled all of this. There were no influencers on Club Penguin. Yes, there was like popular penguins, but they weren't selling you stuff. The kids are just searching for somewhere to belong and somewhere to fit in. All I ever hear is people criticizing specifically young girls in Gen Alpha, which misogyny, but anyway. And I just want to quickly highlight some articles about young boys in Gen Alpha. Also, this is not including like non-binary people or anything like that. It's just from the articles. An article from Dazed titled What is Really Going On with Gen Alpha Boys explains, one of my colleagues' parents has been a teacher for decades and says she sees more misogyny and homophobia in schools now than ever before. There are waves of online content reaching young men, and nobody, including us, knows exactly what to do. They make fun of women and their appearance regularly. People who counter their ideas, especially women, are seen as dangerous and liars. If young boys are making fun of their appearance 5 days in the week, 5 school days, who wouldn't become self-conscious? But this also comes from not having online spaces for these kids, because for example, if they go on a voice chat in Fortnite with like random adult men and they're all being homophobic and they're all being sexist, wouldn't the young Gen Alpha boy who is like a sponge at that age soak that up, take that into school, spread that in his class, then the other kids pick up on that and also become sexist and homophobic? If you want your kid to have an iPad, that's fine, but I think we can all try and make the internet a better place. Online and having an iPad can be an amazing place and do amazing things. You can get books on your iPad. You can download apps that help you with reading and learning. You can play interactive games that help with learning. But the problem is not the iPad itself. The problem starts when the iPad is a portal to seeing horrible things online. The kids are online. The kids are not going to come off online. So we need to make a space online that they can go. There is no use saying, get outside and go play, because where are they going? Okay, if you live in an area that is safe out on the street and that doesn't have a lot of crime and also has like a community centre and loads of free things for your kids to do, I'm obviously not talking about you or the kids in that area. Okay, but if you live in an area where it's maybe not safe for kids to play outside, you don't have a garden because you live in a flat, and there's no free things that kids can do in your area, what are you meant to do? The kids will be online. And of course, I feel bad that teachers are being shouted abuse at. Nobody deserves abuse, okay? But these kids, they clearly need help. Like, no 7-year-old would shout abuse at anybody if they didn't like need help or therapy, or there was something wrong, or if there was maybe a neurodivergence or something like that. But the issue is that the world right now, there are no resources. So the teachers need help, the parents need help, and the kids need help. And it's just a cycle that everyone is having a bad time. In some cases, it's a parenting problem. In some cases, it's a societal problem that will not be fixed overnight by posting a TikTok video calling kids names. It just won't. Kids are a product of their environment, and if their environment does not want them to exist in that environment, what do you expect them to do?